Hey everybody, today I'm going to tell you about the story of coral reefs. These are some of the most beautiful and important places in the ocean and why they are struggling to survive. So, what are coral reefs? Coral reefs are like bustling cities under the sea. They are home to about 25% of all ocean animals, even though they only cover a tiny part of the oceans. Reefs can also protect coastlines from big storms and they provide food and jobs for millions of people. So, what's hurting coral reefs? Sadly, coral reefs are in trouble. The biggest problem is that the ocean is getting hotter because of climate change, and corals can't handle all of that heat. Pollution and overfishing also weaken reefs and make it harder for them to recover. So, what happens when these coral reefs get too hot? When corals get too hot, they lose the tiny algae that live inside them and give them all their color and all their energy. When this happens, the coral turns completely white, something that's called bleaching. If the coral stays bleached for too long, it can die. So, how can we try to help? One way we try to help reefs is by creating these things called marine protected areas, or MPA, special parts of the ocean where fishing and pollution are limited. The idea is that if we give reefs a break from all the human stress, they'll be stronger and healthier and can live for longer. So, the big question is, do these MPAs work? So, these protected areas are great at protecting reefs from things like overfishing or dirty water from pollution, but they can't stop the ocean from getting hotter. Even reefs that are inside of these protected areas can bleach and die during heat waves caused by things like climate change. So, what did scientists find? Scientists studied thousands of reefs across the world. They found that even protected reefs still had bleaching during big heat waves. These protected areas help with small threats like fishing in dirty water, but they can't stop things like global warming from hurting our corals. So, what can we do? We can still help. We can do these by not partaking in things like littering or putting chemicals in ponds, lakes, streams, or oceans that we live by. We can also do this by protecting the fish that live in these areas of water and donating to help keep reefs safe. But the bigger solution here is fighting climate change. We can do this by cutting down on pollution, which helps to cool down the planet, which would keep corals safer. So, why does this even matter? Saving coral reefs is important for the ocean, but it's also important for us. Reefs help to support the lives of fish, they feed millions of people, they protect our coastlines, and keep our oceans full of life. Plus, they're some of the most beautiful and magical places that are on our planet, and they deserve our protection. Thank you guys for listening to my talk on why we need to save the coral reefs.